First thing we want to do is talk about Martin Luther King and his legacy. Now, there's this perception in America today that Martin Luther King was a warm and fuzzy guy who just wanted everybody to get along and hold hands, which is certainly part of his dream, and only fought for racial equality, and the rest of his agenda is totally and utterly forgotten. Now, Martin Luther King, it was a great, great man, but he talked about the first fierce urgency of now. He was not a guy to be placated. He was not a guy for gradualism, as a lot of people seem to be implying these days. And his agenda involved a lot more than racial equality. He wanted to end the war in Vietnam. I'm fairly certain he would have been against the war in Iraq, for damn sure. And of course, where he gave his famous speech in 1963, it was actually a march on Washington for jobs and freedom. And when he was murdered in Memphis, he was actually there to raise the wages of the sanitation workers. So I wanted to give you a complete look into Martin Luther King's legacy and also give you a sense of where we stand today. By the way, here are some other things that Martin Luther King said. He talked about the whirlwinds of revolt, and that he wanted to shake the foundations of our nation until the bright day of justice emerges. Now, these are things that you will not find from current leaders on the Democratic side, progressive side. No matter what their skin color, they would be scared to death to talk in this kind of language about the whirlwinds of revolt. He also talked about radical changes in the structure of our society. He was absolutely right about those things. Again, those things have now become basically unmentionable. Here are other things that are unmentionable in the current context, which is how badly African Americans are doing in this economic recession. It's unmentionable because apparently no one gives a damn. There isn't anything done to alleviate that. Nothing proposed, no legislation, no action by the president, other than just general, hey, we hope things turn around if we give the bankers enough money. Right now, African Americans are 12% of the U.S. population. They are 21% of the nation's unemployed. And so that is not a good stat, obviously. Here's another disastrous stat. Among African American men, 19% are unemployed. That's a gigantic number. The unemployment rate overall is at about 8.5%. So much, much larger than the rest of the country, that percentage. How would Martin Luther King have felt about that? Well, he would not have taken kindly to it. First of all, here's another strong quote from Martin Luther King, which Fox News would have gone ballistic over. He says, "America has given the Negro people a bad check, which has come back marked insufficient funds, but we refuse to believe that the Bank of Justice is bankrupt." Now, he's talking about justice there. Now, what do you think Rush Limbaugh and Fox News would have done with that quote? Oh, look at that. They're just asking for money. We knew it. Ha, ha, ha. Well, nobody was talking about justice. Who cares? Oh, look at that. What do you think they would have done about Martin Luther King, period? Are you kidding me? Okay. Oh, this rabble-rouser. He's unpatriotic for being against the Vietnam War. He's doing class warfare by being in favor of sanitation workers, talking about raising their rates. And, you know, he is just upsetting the normal order. Now, some claim that Martin Luther King would have approved of the current slow pace of change that we have. Well, here is an excellent quote to disabuse you of that notion. Here's what MLK said. "This is no time to engage in the luxury of cooling off or take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism." Now, you have to understand it was a different time with different circumstances. So sometimes it might make sense to push forward. Others, it might make sense for gradualism. But as you see 19% of black males unemployed, as you see 21% of the unemployed overall in this country are African Americans, as you see the disparity in the housing market, for example, white households lost 16% of their net worth during the recession. African American households lost 53% of their net worth. Latinos did even worse, losing 2/3 of their net worth altogether. So this recession has hit minorities much, much harder than everyone else, or even though it's hit all of us very, very hard. That, among many other reasons, I would believe that Martin Luther King would continue to talk about the fierce urgency of now and not take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. Although we know some other African American leaders in this country that are apparently very much interested in that prescription. All right. Krugman also writes about Martin Luther King's dream today. He makes a very good point. In the 1960s and 70s, actually, things did get better, especially after the Civil Rights Act was passed. A lot of blacks did move into the middle class and then the upper middle class. Shockingly enough, it turned out that that movement stopped around the 1980s and has, if anything, receded since then. Why? For two good reasons that he points out. When you have overall economic inequality, well, the people that are on the lower rungs get stuck there, right? And so since there was a greater percentage of African Americans in that situation because of slavery, Jim Crow, its segregation, et cetera, once income inequality took off, well, they moved the rungs in the ladder, in Krugman's analogy, further and further apart. So the bottom rungs, one, make it harder to jump to the top rungs, and two, you get stuck where you are. So income inequality has led to racial inequality. It's a great point by Krugman. And of course, we all believe that it's okay because you can live the American dream here. I still believe that, no question about it. Having said, in my mind, having said that, the American dream apparently is stronger in Europe and Canada because the studies have shown that you are much more likely to move up in economic status in Europe and Canada than you are in the United States of America today. That does not help anybody, any race, any class. Well, I suppose it helps the upper class and their kids and their grandkids maintain their possessions at the expense of everyone else. And Krugman makes one last good point, which is that Mitt Romney says that we should talk about income inequality only in quiet rooms, and then that's exactly what they told Martin Luther King about racial inequality. Shh. Should only talk about that in quiet whispers in quiet rooms. Well, MLK, thank God, didn't listen to that.